welcome one and all to it's another amazing morning, Saturday morning, or whenever you listen to this, or wherever you are in the adventures of Stace and Barry in the morning. So we're doing this over a video, and Stace just laughed. I don't know why he laughed when I said that, because it's adventures of Stace and Barry in the morning. I think if we do a spin-off podcast, it should be called The Adventures of Stace and Barry. But anyway, I digress as per usual. My name is Barry Nugent, and joining me on the virtual breakfasty sofa is the lovely, I don't know why I'm going to say effervescent again, but I am, the lovely effervescent Stace.
Hello. Thank you for calling me effervescent. That's very nice. It's a good word, that, isn't it?
It's not a good word to say, but it is a good word.
Especially not when drunk.
Yes.
Not that I can say many words at all when I'm that tipsy. But yeah, I like the word effervescent. It's fun to say and it's nice to be. So yeah, thanks for that. Nobody else could see our thumbs up.
No.
But maybe you could feel the essence of a thumbs up in that space.
Do you know?
That sounded more of a euphemism in my head, like as it came out of my mouth than it did in my head, and I don't like it. Can we move on?
Yes.
Do you want to, I don't know, have you got any good bants before we...
good bants?
Yeah, you know, banter. Like top of the show banter.
I would like to take this moment to say goodbye to Ronald. So for those who don't know, Ronald is my headphones, my set of headphones that I've been wearing for nigh on 10 years of podcasting.
Wow.
And sadly, Ronald had an accident with the double bed in the bedroom, where I tried to move said double bed and ran over Ronald.
Oh,
So
no.
so it's sad to see him go, but I've told him we'll be doing a bit of like Return of the Jedi type deal. I'll be carrying him outside and setting lights to him on a bonfire, and then standing like Luke Skywalker and stuff whilst the X-wings fly overhead. That might not happen. I might just chuck him in the bin, but he doesn't know that.
I was going to say that sounds like a lot of effort to go to for an inanimate object, but you do you. I was just trying to see if I could remember the tune to, like, is it Taps? The like trumpety song that they play at like military funerals in America, but I couldn't remember it in my brain. I was like, oh, that would have been really funny if I could have remembered, but I couldn't. So I'm not funny. Soz. I'll try harder next time. Wow.
Poor old Ronald.
Poor old Ronald. I would be legitimately distressed if my headphones broke, because I love these bad boys. They're just like big hecking chonkers, and they're great. But they also make me really sweaty in the summer. That is something nobody needed to know about podcasting with me. Shall we?
Let's do some trumpets.
Yeah, let's do some trumpets. Okay, here we go. Jazz. It was a bit less jazzy this time, just in deference to the headphones. Hello?
Hi, I've got my hand up. Excuse me, miss. No. So before we get on to like other segments, I had a quick question for you.
Oh, I'm scared.
Right, I suppose you could call it a geek all about it, but it's more of a kind of geek all because it's a quick question. Have you seen the first image that they've released of Superman that James Gunn has released?
I have, yes. I have seen it. I'm intrigued. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't tend to get bothered by costume design until I see it move. So in this picture, I think it looks fine. Like, it looks like a perfectly good Superman suit. My only issue with the picture, and I think the dude looks like so good. He's like the picture of Clark Kent, stupidly handsome, strong, beautiful man. But the thing that really like struck me first about it was the fact that it looks like he's really nonchalantly putting his boots on while there's like a nightmare laser happening outside, which I just thought was really funny. Like Lois is like, there's people are dying, and he's like, all right, let's just get my boots on. Hold on. fucking hell, we got a sass me woman. And that just really made me laugh. How did you feel about it?
Well.
Oh, thoughts.
So
thoughts in
yeah, it's that thing of a bit like you as well, because I'm the sort of thing of like, I have all these thoughts, but it is one single image. It's probably not even the image from the actual film itself.
Yeah.
They've probably, I think I read somewhere that they reckon they're going to be doing like some externals. They'll start doing like external shooting in different cities. So I think more and more people will see him in costume. So I'm guessing they're trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that's kind of like, that's the image you went with. And I could see what they were trying. I could see what he was trying to do. I think it was that whole kind of thing of trying to make him a bit more sort of, I don't know, not workman-like, but it's almost like
relatable.
And I've got a, if it's kicking off again, here we go again, So I could kind of see where he was coming from. And then obviously his suit's a bit battle damaged and stuff like that. So I get that on one level, but on another level, I kind of want my first shot of like a new Superman to just be him standing there with hands on his hips and the cape flapping. That's all I need. I don't need you to try and get creative and artistic. Just give me that and I can go, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was, like you said, I was kind of, okay. And when I first saw it, I was like, is this, I thought it was a wind up. Because it didn't look. I thought they'd just got some bloke with a blue screen. It's like, yeah, just put that on, mate. It's just. But I think he looks, like you said, I think he looks good. And like I said, I think what they're trying to do with that shot, I get it. But looking at some of the comments and stuff, I do think they've opened themselves up to some ridicule, because there's a hell of a lot of shots of him where they've basically taken his picture and put him in the Clark shoes. People who listen to this outside of this country who don't know, we have a popular shoe chain in this country called Clark's, and there's quite a few photos where they've taken that Superman and they've put him in like Clark's shoe shop, and they've got like someone there serving him like, do you want to try these on? So,
one of those little like foot measurers that you make it feet.
So my problem is now I just can't take it seriously. So and I also saw someone did a side by side. So the very first shot they put out of Henry Cavill as Superman was him standing behind some massive like bank vault which had all been ripped to shreds, and he's standing there. And the other shot is a dude basically sitting on a chair trying to put his boots on. Like I said, I get what they're trying to do. And I'm looking forward to seeing more. Because my thing is that I do trust, to be fair, it sounds like I'm having a dig, I'm not, I'm having more of a laugh with it. Because I do trust James Gunn. Because I liked what he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. As I said, I hope he won't go too far and basically make it like Carry On Superman. But I don't think he will. I think he's got enough about him to be able to do, which is what he did with Guardians, which I feel like a lot of other Marvel and DC properties tried and failed. I think he's able to kind of walk that fine line between drama, pathos, and humor. Whereas I feel like Marvel kind of, after he did the first Guardians, they kind of ran with that format, and it didn't always work for me. So I do think he can. I think he can pull it off, and I think he can give us a different Superman.
Yeah, I would be interested to see this film, mostly from the fact of like, I'm going to get murdered on the internet for this, Barry. I can't believe you're making me say it. I'm a bit indifferent to Superman.
Yeah, well,
he's not my favorite character in like any sort of like, I mean, obviously the Christopher Reeve films are really good, but like they're never going to be in like even probably my top 10 like comic book films. He's not as a character in my like top 10 of characters. He's not like my go-to, I've got to see, this new show, this new film, whatever. And I think that's where, like you say, the choice of image is potentially not good, because it does look like a man very resigned to like, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, again, humanity needs saving again, and it's like that's not an attitude. I don't think I'm that interested in seeing that sort of attitude. So I'm hopeful that that's not the sort of like, yeah, how it's going to play out. But I'm also very confused, and this can be a conversation that we have not recorded much later because nobody cares to hear it, but I don't know how this fits in with anything, because one of the things I did think was that the photo really leaned into making him look very much like Henry Cavill, to the point where I almost mistook it for him at first.
Right.
But I don't know if it's supposed to be the same Superman or not, because apparently some things count and some things don't from like DC things that already exist, and like some stuff like Peacemaker season 1 won't count, but season 2 will, and I'm just like, hold on, why are we convoluting matters? Can you just make a really good Superman film? I really want to see the suit in action, I think, is what it is. Because you can make anything look really good with some good lighting and a handsome man in an outfit, do you know what I mean? And they've certainly got those two things. But yeah, I got very much more excited by seeing Wolverine in his yellow outfit in the Deadpool Wolverine trailer. Give me the cowl, you cowards.
I think anyway, we'll move on. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I kind of wish, especially, I don't want to sort of spoil it for people, so I won't. But I think when I saw the Flash movie, I actually felt that was a perfect, and they did it in some of in one of the animated films as well. It was a perfect way to, if they'd used it right, so they could have reset the universe.
Yeah, it was.
And
it really was.
Done whatever the fuck you wanted. And I thought going in, that's what was going to happen. And I got to the end of it, and I was like, oh, so that's not what we're doing here. And then you get all this sort of, oh no, this is going to count, but that isn't going to count. And I'm just like, I would have rather you just draw a line under the stuff that's come before. And there's a lot of the DCU stuff that I did enjoy. But just draw a line under it, and do again. But I also think a part of me wishes as well, like they'd pulled a Marvel with Iron Man and started with a completely random character, and not another Superman film. You know, I don't know who else they could have picked, but like, you know, just I don't know, just something, even like a John Constantine film. I don't know, something a bit left field, and then you can bring in like your Superman and Batman, because let's be honest, everyone knows who they are, everyone knows what their deal is.
Do you know what we need? We need another Batman movie where we can see his parents die. That'd be great.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All the crossable appendages crossed.
Right, with that little sidebar.
Little digression. Do you want to do a pick of the fortnight first?
Go on in.
Okay. Well, I went to see a little film. You might not have heard.
Where's the trumpets?
We did the trumpets, and then you started talking about something else.
Okay.
Unless you want that to be a segment, and I'll do news.
Yeah, I want more trumpets.
Trumpets. Jazz. I went to see a little film called The Fall Guy.
Oh, did you?
I did, yeah. Now, here's the thing that is stupid of me, is that I didn't know that this was based on a thing that already existed, because I'm a fanny. So I went to see this on the basis of Ryan Gosling is a darling alone, pretty much.
Okay, fair enough.
And because Rich really wanted to see it, so I was like, excellent. And we had last week off work, intending to decorate our upstairs, and then we finished that within 2 days, and so we had like a full week off to do absolutely fucking nothing. So we carted ourselves off to the cinema, and I didn't know what to expect to this film, because like obviously I'd seen the trailers and stuff, but the trailers do make it just look like Stunts, the movie. So I was like, all right. And I had a text message from a friend like the day before saying, if I were you, I'd give The Fall Guy a miss. And that's when I learned not to listen to Mike Giorgio, because he's full of shit. I love
you, Mike. She said that, I didn't.
We both love you, Mike, but your opinions are questionable. So yeah, I fucking loved it. The thing about this film is that you have to immediately sort of go with how, like, it's very meta. It's very, everyone is doing stunts.
Right.
Like everyone's having a fight sequence. Everyone's jumping out a window. Like, you have to just fully go with the conceit of this is fully ridiculous. And if you can, like, suspend your disbelief and just appreciate that for what it is, then it's like one of the most fun movies that have come out this year. And also probably like the biggest love letter I've ever seen to stunt work in a movie. Right. It is insane, like fully batshit insane, the level of stunt work that's getting done here. Like, yeah, barely like a scene goes by without some sort of stunt, and it's just so good. I was crying, laughing at bits, and I tell you what as well. I can't remember what I know him from, but there's an actor called Winston Duke in this. I don't remember what.
Oh, yes.
I feel like he was in a Marvel.
He was. Yeah, he was. He was in Black Panther.
Ah, yes. Now he gets a couple of fight sequences that made me think, I want a movie of this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whoever his stunt double was, is fucking so good. Like, such hot fucking stuff. Yeah, like, it's kind of a movie that sort of goes and doesn't stop. It has a very cheesy romance happening, which is absolutely fine, because, like, you know where that's going from the start, but it's nice to go on the ride. All the characters are very, like, enjoyable. Even the ostensibly, like, evil one is, like, playing it properly, like, almost pantomime villain. Like, it's very fun to watch. Everybody knows the tone of the movie that they're in, and so, like, as long as you're on board with that tone, you're going to have a great time with it, which is exactly what I did. Like, I came out of there absolutely, like, buzzing, and then I went to watch a load of, like, behind the scenes videos and stuff that are on YouTube of, like, a lot of the stunt work that they did.
Oh, okay.
And also, I signed a petition to get stunt work recognised at the Oscars, because I was like, fuck off, like, the stuff that they do and how dangerous it fucking is. Lost my mind at how this isn't. I don't know why my brain has never noticed that that's not a category at awards ceremonies, and it really fucking should be.
It really should be.
Because it's so, like, it's integral to, like, basically every film you ever watch. But it's wonderful. Yeah, I had a great time with it. Like, full belly laughs, absolutely mesmerised. A lot of the effects are, like, really good as well. Like, there's very little bits where you would notice that it's, you know, CGI or whatever. It's just really funny. Like, I found it really funny. And Ryan Gosling's great. Emily Blunt's great. Like I say, I could watch a whole movie with Winston Duke. So, yeah, two hefty thumbs up from this bint for The Fall Guy.
Nice. I do plan to watch it at some stage. It'll probably be a rental jobby for me. But I did grow up watching The Fall Guy.
Right. Okay.
Ages. Yeah, because I don't know if it's exactly the same in the film version. I don't know, but in the TV show, he was a stunt guy, but he was also like a bounty hunter.
Right. Okay. So in the film, he gets sort of drafted into trying to solve a murder. And it's like, yeah, it's based around the lead actor in the film that he's doing the stunts on, which is why he gets sort of embroiled in this, like, murder mystery kind of thing that's happening. Which is one of the things that I think, if you don't buy into the ridiculousness of that, like, if you just immediately go, why didn't they just call the police, then you're not going to have a fun time with this movie, because you're just going to find it stupid. But if you'll just, you know, get into the current and go with the flow of, like, okay, so a stuntman's investigating a missing very famous actor, off we go, then you'll love it. I think I certainly did.
To be honest, I grew up in the era of talking bulletproof cars and super helicopters. I feel like that's fine. I have no problem with that. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, I've heard quite a few people say they've enjoyed it. So my pick of the fortnight. So
how many have you got this week?
Yeah, see, I got a couple, but like, I was going to mention the fact that I used to watch well, I didn't used to. I watched an animated show on Netflix, which was a Jurassic Park spin-off, which was
yeah,
Jurassic Park.
Cretaceous or whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah, which I don't think it got enough love. I really enjoyed that show, and it's sort of all rounded up and stuff. And I thought, oh, cool. And then I happened to be on YouTube this week, and then I saw like Jurassic Park Chaos Theory. I'm like, oh, what's that? And I sort of I was like, hang on a minute, they're the fucking kids from Camp Crusade, whatever it was. I can't pronounce it, but they're older.
Okay.
So it's a follow up to that, which I think drops on Netflix towards the end of this month, and I'm well excited now because I had no idea that was coming. Anyway, that wasn't my pick of the fortnight. My pick of the fortnight has been shelved because I sound like a broken record, and I'm sorry, but I watched episode 9 of X-Men today.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Obviously, I would not spoil it, but I would say since we last spoke, I've watched episode 8 and 9, which is a 3-parter. We've got one more to go. I'd like to, if my neighbours listen to this podcast, which they don't, I would like to formally apologise for the amount of noise I made this afternoon as I was watching that episode. I honestly, if I don't know how they're going to round all this up in one episode. Unless next week's episode is like an hour or something. If it's a 30-minute episode, I don't know, but quite possibly this might be one of the greatest like seasons of a superhero show I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It just hasn't put in my opinion. Other people might have opinions and stuff. That's great. It's lovely for you. But for me, it's like every episode, I'll come out of the episode going, well, it's not going to get any better than that. Then I get to the next episode, I'm like, okay.
Well, it's like we were saying after we saw episode 5, and we were both like, how is that not a season finale? What the shit is coming next?
Yeah.
And it feels like every time I watch another episode, I'm like, all right, well, what now? I tell you what, though, it's if this isn't an advert for releasing things weekly, I don't know what is. Because, oh my God, the sort of the anticipation of the new episodes coming out, and then also the sort of like communal as we all react at the same time. Like, oh my God, it's so much fun. And I'm not like slagging off anybody who enjoys binge watching. It's absolutely fine. You do you. I personally prefer that little bit of anticipation, tickling.
I like a little bit of both, because there's some shows where I've watched, and had I not binged them, I probably would never have gotten into them.
Yeah.
Because some of them, they've taken a couple of episodes and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, this is a show, and I'm on it. Whereas shows like X-Men, like you said, out of the gate, good. And like you say, every week I spend the next week telling everyone how good that episode was, and then waiting for certain people to kind of have watched the episode so I can talk to them offline about how good the episode was. And you're right, it's not often we actually get that anymore, where you kind of get everyone kind of around the virtual water cooler around the same time. And I think more people now are trying to watch it when it drops because they know shit's going to be good.
Yeah.
But episode.
I'm probably going to watch that after we finish recording, to be fair.
Have you seen episode 8 now?
I think I've seen 8. Give me a non-spoilery rough idea of what that one was.
I mean...
My memory's really bad. I'm so sorry.
Okay, all I'll say was there was a massive fight at the X mansion.
Oh, I don't know if I have seen that.
Nightcrawler and Wolverine.
No, I haven't seen that. No, do I need to catch up with 2? Oh shit, man.
You need to get on there.
Oh mate, I love Nightcrawler. He's so good.
You'll love. Yeah, you would have remembered then, because you'll love that. That was a good episode. But yeah, we've got one more episode. I'm gonna be so gutted when the show is finished.
Is there gonna be a season 2? Do we know, or is that not?
I don't know. But also as well, there's another part of me. I know this sounds stupid given what I've just said. I almost don't want there to be another season.
The longer it goes on, the more opportunity there is for it to be shit.
Yeah, I kind of want it to be this perfect diamond, and then like in 30 years' time, maybe when we're all in old people's homes together, we can sort of go, do you remember episode 5 of X-Men, Smithers?
Yeah, it's like you know, a lot of people said to me before that they say that, like, you know, I wish Gravity Falls got another season or whatever, and I'm like, no. As much as I adore that show, they had a 2-season story to tell, and by God did they fucking tell it.
Yeah.
But I think any more than that would be, just leave it alone. It's perfect as it is, mate.
Yeah.
Perfect. Excellente. Shall I bust out the trumps? Don't call them trumps. Just bust out a trumpet. Jazz. My musical musing is going to come with a bonus, very small movie review. I hope you don't mind.
Okay.
So in that week off, Rich and I also went to see Challengers, which is the sexy Zendaya tennis movie. And like both of us had really wanted to see it, but it was sold to me as a sexy love triangle with a side of tennis, right? But it's more of a sort of tennis with a side of vaguely lukewarm love triangle, and I think it's one of the rare occasions you'll ever hear me say that could stand to be a little bit sexier, to be fair, because it was sold as this like really like erotic sports movie, and it's just like, and that's not to say I think it should be like riddled with sex. You can be sexy without actually showing sex, but like it's fine. It's just fine. Like the film is fine. It's absolutely fine. The score though is an absolute fucking banger.
Okay, I was wondering where that was going.
So the score to this film. Now, I would normally argue that this makes it a bad score, but it just so. The score overshines the film, I think. It's very noticeable how good the fucking score is throughout the whole thing. It's by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Now, most people will know those people as members of 9 Inch Nails. But if you're me, you'll know them as the people that did the soundtrack to the Disney movie Soul and Mutant Mayhem score from last year, and just generally rad score related dudes. So apparently the director of this movie, and I'm really sorry if I pronounce this wrong, I did try to practice it, but I just know I'm going to fuck it up. Luca Guadagnino, fingers crossed. Apparently he went to Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor and said, what if we made the score to this film just like a thumping, like properly driving techno score that's just like a banging heartbeat throughout the movie? And so that is essentially what you get. It's just it's very sort of 9 Inch Nails, sort of dirty techno thumping,
techno,
yeah, synthy, bleepy bloopy. The only sort of negative thing I've got to say about it is the fact that some of the tracks are too short. Like there's a couple that are just over a minute, and I'm like, get back here. Get back here and continue on, please. And there is one song as well that actually includes like a tiny part of the film where somebody's like mobile phone like alarm clock goes off, and that always throws me off because I think I'm hearing an alarm. And then I realise it's part of the track. Shut up. But the song that I've picked is called Yeah times 10. But honestly, it was basically me just like wanging my finger up and down and just stopping somewhere randomly, because any track off this album is fucking great. It's mad to me that a soundtrack like that can exist for a movie that was so fine. I'm sure a lot of people will argue it. It's such a weird movie because like everybody's like acting really well. Like the writing is mostly good, but there is the odd line that's just like nobody's said those words out loud in their life, like ever. But it was too much about tennis for me, that film was, whereas I was there for the sexy love triangle, not the tennis. If you like tennis, Corey, you'll probably have a field day with this movie. Or actually, you'll probably watch it and go, none of this is good tennis. I don't know, because I'm not into tennis. But yeah, absolutely, tip top notch soundtrack. Loved it. Give it a whirl. Unless you hate techno, in which case don't, because you'll hate it.
I thought that was a very well-rounded musical musings, Stace. Well done.
I thought so. Thank you very much.
My musical musings, also, I'm going to try and pronounce, is by Ramin Djawadi.
Okay. Yes.
Which I've just butchered, but yeah, Ramin Djawadi. The show is called The Free Body Problem on Netflix.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
I've not seen it, but I've heard of it. I was listening to, get this, I was listening to a little podcast, you might not have heard of it, called Geek Syndicate earlier today.
Those guys.
And I think Dave was talking about it quite a lot.
Yes.
But I haven't actually watched it yet. It's on my radar, though.
I've watched the whole thing now. And I enjoyed it. It was fine.
There's a lot of fine today, isn't there?
I know. You knew fine could be this somehow. It was fine. I feel like just it kind of got going. It was like, oh, that's it, is it? And a lot of the sciencey stuff. I mean, Dave was right. Dave is a bit more sciencey than I am. This is true. And some of the science in it, I was like, I could be made up, could be real. Don't know, yeah. Because I don't understand what you're talking about. But you seem quite sincere about what you're saying, so hey, I'm gonna go with it, scientist person. So the whole cut a long story short, I could explain what Free Body Problem is about stuff, but it's basically like some science getting broad and some dodginess that's going on with the world, and they've got to save the world and stuff, the usual stuff. But there's a lot of hard science. Anyway, the score is really good. Mm-hmm. Obviously, given the person who's done the score, it really does, because he did the score for all the Game of Thrones stuff.
Yes.
And that's what this most reminded me of, even though I've heard him do other stuff, because he did like Iron Man as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and Westworld, I think.
Loads of stuff. Mm. Yeah, his Westworld score is really good. But it kept taking me back to Game of Thrones when I was listening to it. So just some of the pieces of music. And the piece of music I've picked is called The Fate of the Planet, which comes in. Yes, and I remember it came in right. I want to say it might have been the last episode actually. And I remember when the music was playing, thinking, "Oh, I like that piece of music," and that was that piece of music that made me go and actually seek out the soundtrack on Spotify and then add it to my list and stuff. So it's a cracking piece of music, very epic, builds quite nicely.
Excellent. Splendid. Do we have time for another segment, or do you want to shut up?
Well, given the fact we're at 40 minutes, I feel, unless you're desperate to do a...
Nah.
Cool. that we can round.
Not that I don't love talking to you, B. But
that's fine. That's fine. I totally get it. Besides, the cat's just about to bloody walk.
Oh, hello, cat. Oh, he's cute. Hello. He doesn't care.
It's Steve.
Oh, hello, Steve. He does not give a shit at all.
No.
Perfect.
We're just in his way. This is where I'm coming down and basically saying, am I going to get fucking fed tonight or what?
Where is dinner, my good man?
Yeah.
Well, that was an episode of Stace and Barry then, wasn't it? Bloody hell. Hey, we realised earlier when we were recording that we actually have now done more than 100 episodes of this, but because we were bad at maths, we missed the 100th. So that was a party popper. Oh, that was really bad. There we go, party popper. Imagine confetti. And I don't know, have a little congratulatory breakfast sandwich. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email to staceandbarry@gmail.com, or you can find us on most of the socials at Geek Syndicate and at Stacey's Parlour. You can also send us money if you want. Barry, where's the best place for him to do that?
Well, for Geek Syndicate, you can send us money. So you can buy us a virtual coffee on Ko-fi.com. I think it's Ko-fi.com/Geek Syndicate. Or you can sign up to our Patreon. We don't really do anything on the Patreon.
You will get nothing from this but our respect.
Yes, and all proceeds go towards the hosting fees for our variant podcasts. So, and big thanks to people who have been supporting us and buying virtual coffees and our patrons. It is much appreciated.
Excellent. Well, on that note then, everyone, have a bloody good rest of whatever day it is that you are listening to this. Take care of yourselves, and we love you. Bye.
Bye all.